Hello, my name is Patrick Gallagher. I'm author of Transcendent and I'm represented by Seventh Agency. Transcendent was inspired by kind of action-adventure blockbusters and books like Alex Rider, Harry Potter, and it's science fiction, action-packed, alien adventure starring Jacob and Kira, who are teen geniuses born and raised in Uganda. And they're recruited by a mysterious tech billionaire, Amira Rana, for a secret agency called Transcendent, which is designed to protect the world from the greatest threat it has ever faced. And Jacob and Kira are hurtled from sun-baked Uganda to rain-swept London to outer space to Amira Rana's private space station, The Garden. And they start to realise what the real reason is that they've been recruited. The source of it was a real mix of things. I've always loved these kind of big science fiction films like Star Wars and the Avengers and Jurassic Park and that kind of stuff. That kind of coming of age story, like the idea of Luke Skywalker growing up on this farm and then going off on this big adventure. The characters themselves, Jacob and Kira, I think very much will come from that, but also I think very much based on myself as well. I think Jacob and Kira are very different. Jacob's he's quieter, he's more hesitant, he's more anxious about things, whereas Kira is more hot-headed, adventurous, and much more of a live wire. And I think they're almost kind of two sides of my personality. I think I'm probably more Jacob out of the two, but I think there's definitely a bit of sort of Kira in me as well. So I think when I'm writing, when I'm reading it, I can kind of hear myself in both of them, I think. So with the first one, it was over a long time. So I started university about 7 years ago. So the process has kind of changed over time. So it started as like my kind of university project. It was my kind of final thing of the year. And then when I left university, it became very much like a spare time kind of thing. And I kind of went off it for a few years and did short stories and things. But I think as the years went on and I knew that being a writer was what I wanted to be, I knew that I had to kind of finish this novel. So that became the focus, and I became a teaching assistant first, which meant I had a lot more spare time, because obviously school finished at 3:30, so I'd finish at 3:30, go to like the nearest library and kind of write there for a few hours. Those are the days. I'm now a teacher, so it's not as kind of easy breezy as that. A lot of it was just kind of making the time to write. I kind of write in the morning before school. Obviously I get lots of school holidays as well, so this is kind of fitting in the hours and writing. In terms of the process itself, I tend to be quite kind of hard on myself in that I think you can try and write like 1,000 words a day. Whereas as the time's gone on, I've kind of gone away from that and thought, as long as you kind of spend a good amount of time on it that day, you might not write so many words, but as long as you've got a good stretch on it every day, that's the main thing, I think. I do always write to music. I like film scores, orchestral stuff like that, and I'll try and pick music that kind of fits the scene I'm writing. If I'm writing a scary scene, I'll kind of write with scary music and stuff like that. It's quite cool. I've got like almost a playlist of tracks that go with each book. So I'm thinking when at the end of 3 books, I'll put a playlist together, and it's all almost like there's gonna be a track for every chapter almost, which I think is quite cool. And that's not really changed. So for the 3 books, that's kind of what I've always kind of stuck with that. Like I was trying to do an hour or 2 before school, weekends and holidays, obviously, and I kind of write on my headphones. The process of finding an agent was a bit unusual actually, because when I kind of knew that being an author was what I wanted to be, I spoke to a lot of kind of friends who wrote as well, and they recommended magazines, websites, and so writing magazine is what I kind of subscribed to, and that was really good because it kind of came every month and it made you feel like part of a writing community, which is brilliant. And it's the idea of submitting and rejections just kind of felt very normal, because that's what everyone kind of goes through. And again, it was a weird thing, because I submitted it and I kind of knew at the time, I was like, I felt got a good feeling about this. And I made it to the long list. No further than that, I got to the top 50 it was. And then through that there was a writer's workshop, and there was a panel with editors and agents, and that's how I got to know Kemi. And then I had a kind of interview with an editor, Murray, it doesn't matter, who kind of mentioned Kemi's name and said, oh, Kemi really liked this, the kind of young adult thing. And I was like, oh, can I maybe get her email and send it off to her? And it happened, and then I sent it off, and then Kemi replied, but it went to my junk folder for about six months. And then so I actually did, it was a long time, so I didn't actually get to know that Kemi had emailed me back. So that was, and then I kind of replied, anyway, I'm rambling. So that's how I got introduced to Kemi.